Good morning, gang. It's Saturday, the 23rd of September 2017. Welcome along to this morning's United Kingdom. Oh. Did I click the thing then or not? Let's try that again. Good morning. It's Saturday, the 23rd of September 2017. Welcome along to this morning's United Kingdom talk. I do like to use the multi-cameras. What is the point of going to all the expense of having several cameras in here and not using all of them, dear? You know? Oh, God. Well, good morning to you. Very disappointed, actually, this morning. I must say, I did put a little note on Facebook about 15 minutes ago, saying that we would be on round about 11:20. I think we're a bit earlier than that, or a touch earlier. Would anyone like to be touched this morning? And only one person wants to be touched. We do like a bit of touching. Feel free to touch anyone that you want to, including yourselves, while you're watching this programme this morning. Yes, indeed. So, nice night at the karaoke last night. It was wonderful to see Simon Keane come down all the way from Stoke to Central Station in King's Cross, where we are every Friday and Mondays for the karaoke. Friday 8:30 and Mondays 8 o'clock. And he came down and sung a couple of songs. I think he was staying at non-Irish Mary's house last night. The only thing is with Simon, he does get a little bit carried away and jumped onto a chair on the stage, did something to the curtains, but sadly pulled all the curtains off the curtain rails on the stage. Dear me. I mean, I've got to admit, they're not exactly well put up. What they've got is two curtain rods. You imagine a large stage, okay, and this is at the back of the stage. So the curtains are to close the windows. You know, they're not in front of the stage where, you know, hello everyone. Da, 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 da. No, they're at the back. And they're just there to pull across the curtains, And of course, there's a big mirror on the back wall. So there's a massive mirror there on the back of the stage, okay? When I turn the stage lights on, the stage lights hit the mirror and then reflect straight back into everyone's eyes, and they're all dazzled. They're all dazzled. I mean, it's bad enough that they're dazzled when I walk on the stage. You can see people like, wow, is that Chris Reardon? Wow. They're a bit like that, you know. But to be dazzled by the mirror as well is a little bit too much. Poor Mary had to have cataracts removed after a month of that last year. Dear me. So we've got these curtains there. Now, the curtain, it's not even proper curtain rails for a stage. There's stuff you can get in B&Q. You know those plastic things? Those plastic curtain rails? It's two of those. So they've put, because obviously one wouldn't have been long enough. So they got two of these like this, and they end in the middle. Whoever put them up didn't put the stopper on either end. So what happens, if you're not careful and you pull the curtain across, it comes off the end of the rail, and that's what Simon did last night. So some poor sod's got to go up a ladder today and put those back on, but that's the way it is. So lovely to see you, Simon, in there last night, okay? A terrible journey in. Took me 2 hours and 5 minutes to get to work last night. Now, I have noticed over the last 2 or 3 weeks that traffic's been getting bad again. And it's not been so bad recently this year. Up to this year, it's been about an hour 40, an hour 45. Now, when I tell you that, I know it's only like 20 minutes difference. But honestly, when you're sitting there in the car, it does make all the difference. Although I have got quite used to it, to be honest, to be fair. 2 hours sitting in the car is nothing to me. But I have to leave here at 5 to 6 to get there. And I got there at like 8 o'clock. You know, it's just ridiculous. And I'm hoping if Uber lose their licence, that it's going to clear up the roads a bit, because it's clogged up with these damn Uber drivers. I've said it time and time again, there are absolute menace on those roads. Now, we did open a conversation, not like a video show. Well, yeah, I did a little video yesterday afternoon when I heard the news that Uber are having their licence revoked, and it's only at the end of September, only in about a week's time. However, they can appeal, and I'm sure they will, because they're making a lot of money. They'll probably appeal, and while the appeal is in progress, they can continue to operate, So don't think next week all the Uber drivers are going to disappear. And there is a bit of a conversation going on my Facebook page if you want to join that. Go on my Facebook, facebook.com/Chris Reardon UK, and you can join in the conversation either for or against, And I don't, if I make a point on there or start off a conversation on my Facebook and you don't agree with me, that's fine. I don't go along there removing people that disagree with me unless they're vile comments, and personally attacking. Then I remove them and block them because we don't need anything like that. You know what I mean? Anyone who sort of types a dodgy message or something like that. And I do the same at karaoke's, actually. With the karaoke streaming, I now stream that also on some of the Facebook Live groups. And occasionally, and actually it's very rare, it doesn't happen that often, but occasionally you get a horrible message, about someone singing. Well, I'll block them and remove them straight away, because we can't have karaoke people upset just because you didn't like them. Besides, it's not the Eurovision Song Contest, dear. It's not the Royal Albert Hall. It's not a Justin Bieber... Well, I'll ignore that one, darling. It's not a concert. It's a karaoke. It's a fun night. You don't expect everyone to be able to sing as fantastically as I can. So that's how that works. All right? I'm not quite sure what's happened to the Indian summer this morning that we've been promised. It's as grey as anything out there. It's a bit damp. I don't know if it's going to rain or not, but I had intended to do some gardening this morning. I've taken a picture of my... At last I've remembered to do this, okay? So we're nearly at the end of September. Would you like to see what my garden looked like about an hour ago? Look at this. How's that? That's two to 3 years of work, that is. Isn't that pretty? I don't know if you can see the satellite dish at the back. Yeah, you can. You see the satellite dish at the back there, which is on the back of the fence there. You can't see the little... I think it's a bit too dark to see. Oh, yes, you can just about... If you look carefully within the circle of the satellite dish there, you can see like a little thing sticking up. That's actually a deep purple flower, of which there's quite a few of those at the back. And the stuff all in the middle, you'll notice to the left is like a very dark, reddy brown plant. That is the plant that produces the dark red flowers. So there's not many left now. They're sort of halfway through it. And at the front, you've got all the anemones, pink and white. You get a lot of flowers over those. Just over the right there, again, don't think you can see it too well, are some blue flowers right next to the tree, which is on the right with the solar panel. That's halfway up there. That's not part of the solar array I've got on the roof. That's just like an experimental thing that was put up a few years ago, and other bits and pieces. So here we are, almost at the end of September, and I'm so pleased that my flowers and all that are coming are still there like that. And with the Indian summer that we've been promised a lot of sun this weekend and next week, this should go right the way through next week, according to the weather people. I'm hoping that we're going to get another burst of flowers out the front there. The hanging baskets at the front as well, they're just pouring with begonias. Absolutely pouring with begonias coming out of them. Although I gather, not friendly to bees. Now, I didn't know this. Begonias are not necessarily any good for bees. Did anyone else know that? It was on the news the other week. Interesting, isn't it? Okay, let's say hello to some of you sending through the messages this morning. Good morning to the lovely Diane. Morning, Diane. First in this morning. Knock, knock. Who's there? Good morning to Nathan. Morning, Nathan. Paris is there this morning. Hello, Paris. So hello to my mum for us, Sharon, if she's there, okay. Good morning to Terry H, who thought I was being very rude this morning, asking if anyone wanted to be touched. John Aiken is there in sunny Wales in Somerset. Oh, that's a nice part of the world, isn't it, Somerset? Eh? It's a long, long time since I've been down there. I think, oh, gosh. That's got to be 45 years. Because when we used to go on holiday, me as a child and my mum and dad and my lovely sister Sharon, We used to what mum and dad used to do. We would go for 2 weeks on a holiday. We would do 1 week in a cottage or a bungalow somewhere, like a holiday let type place, self-catering place. And we would do 1 week at Pontin's because Dad always felt that Mum's worked all the year, so at least she should have a week off. And we go to Pontin's, you see, where it was all in. And it's not like Pontin's is today. No. All the meals were laid on. The food was fantastic. It was ordinary food. It was ordinary English food. There were no curries in those days. No curries, no pizzas, no Italian. There was nothing like that. It was always like roast something and vegetables. And you'd have the full English breakfast every morning. You'd have your lunch. And it was wonderful. The food was absolutely wonderful at Pontin's and all the entertainment and all that at night, of course. And you didn't have to do anything. And it was kind of regimented also in those days. So at breakfast time, they'd have these speakers everywhere. Honestly, loud speakers everywhere. And they would start playing a specific tune. I can't remember what it was now. At breakfast time. And I think that would be 8:30 till 10 o'clock or something, or 8 till 10 o'clock breakfast. We'd have that, then we go and do stuff, and then we'd all go back for lunch at 1 o'clock, and we go and do stuff, and all go back for dinner at 8 o'clock. It was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. And of course, all the entertainment at night, you'd have like a resident band there, generally playing covers of everything. And each night would have something different, perhaps some sort of entertainer, maybe someone doing juggling or vocalists, singers. A guest band would come on one of those nights, I suppose, to give the other band a night off. There'd be various competitions, knobbly knees competition, beat the donkey. Donkeys weren't brought out to be beaten. I just want to point that out. They didn't used to get a donkey out and everyone would start beating it. I don't think it was called Beat the Donkey. What was it called? Donkey Derby, that's it. Donkey Derby. There'd be a swimming pool gala. Oh, it was wonderful. And you'd have the Pontin's Bluecoats looking after us all. I always wanted to be a Bluecoat, and now I am. Look at this. I wanted to be a Bluecoat as a child, but I never did it. Whether or not I could still do it now at my advanced 54 years old, I don't know. But they get paid very badly. They do get accommodation, but they don't get their own place. They got to share with someone. Oh, no, dear. I can't be sharing a house with anyone, I'm sorry. I don't think I could do it. Certainly couldn't share a room with anyone. Even I've stopped going on holiday with my best mate because we can't get on. Can't get on when you're shoved away with someone for 24 hours a day. Oh, it would do my head in. I just about managed to put up with a cat all these years. And then after the Pontins or before the Pontins, we'd go and hire a bungalow somewhere. And I know we went to Somerset. I seem to remember, isn't it funny how you can bring up a memory that you haven't thought about for 40 or 50 years? Can you do that? It's just something that maybe you're talking about. You've said Somerset, and it's switched on a memory, although be it a very, very faded one, in my brain. And I can see us walking through a field somewhere in Somerset, perhaps on a footpath. And that's all I can see. I can't see any more. And I know it was really, really muddy. And we had Wellington boots on. And me as a little boy, my boots are sinking into the mud as we're trying to walk through this field. Isn't it funny how you can do that? And yet I haven't thought about that for 45, 50 years, that memory, whatever it is. Gosh, how amazing the human brain is, isn't it, really? Unless, of course, you've got a tumour. I shouldn't say things like that, should I? And I remember that thing in Somerset. We went to Dawlish in Devon. That was a funny old place, that was. It was like, we called it Mum and Dad called it the shack. And I think we had bunk beds in there, me and my sister. She was on the bottom, I was on the top. And I don't think there was any door. There was just like a curtain across these bunk beds. And Mum and Dad's bed would have been in the same room, I think. And this shack, it was so dark. It was very dark, and it was it seemed to be built into a rock. Odd, isn't it? I remember coming out there, and there was a farm on site. It was part of a farm. We get in a car, and we go down to the beach, I think in Dawlish. Is there a beach at Dawlish in Devon? One thing I remember about Devon is the hills there. We had a little, the registration number was XAN 720. It was an MG, a bit like an Austin Allegro, but it was MG. And we had real trouble getting up some of these hills. Dad was in first gear. Because, of course, we had all the cases on the top and the four of us in the car as well. Oh, it was wonderful, wonderful holidays. So I remember going there. We went to the Isle of Wight a couple of times. Stayed at a little cottage once called Apple View. Lovely place. And I remember there at night time, we'd walk along these roads and there'd be those little white flowers along the sides of the roads. And you could smell them as you were walking through. So that would have been sort of August time. Apple View Cottage. I wonder if my friend Shania and Vectis and Callum would know Apple View Cottage. Perhaps I'll ask them. And I got up early in the morning because I liked TV music, TV themes and all that. And those were the days of ITV when there were many different ITV companies. And in the morning at 8:30, they'd play their own bit of music. And it would be different wherever you were in the country. I remember getting up there at like 9 o'clock in the morning, ready with my Philips tape recorder. Do you remember the Philips tape recorder? And it had a button it had one button in the middle, up to play, push it left to go backwards, push it right to go forwards. And if you wanted to record, you'd have to push a red button and then push it up and it would record. I remember standing near the telly with my microphone held at the telly waiting for this piece of music to come on. Apple View Cottage, that was it. And it was, I think it was Southern Television at that time. Southern Television. My God, that's a while ago, isn't it, eh? Morning to Barbara Leitz, who joins us this morning. Good morning, Barbara. And Karis Dipper. Sir Jan, I hope I've got your name right there, sir. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Good morning to you. Birthdays are at the end of the show. Don't worry. Birthdays are at the end of the show, okay? John says, were you Miss Pontins in 1977? I can see you in a bikini. No, I didn't go in for the Miss Pontins. I did go on for a hat competition. If you look in my photos, I think it says Pontin's mid-1970s. And there was a photo of me as a little boy with the worst hat that you'd ever seen. And I had the audacity to enter this into a competition. It was just like a seaman's hat with a paper fan. You know how you would make a fan? So you kind of do all that like that and then just open it up. And it was stuck on the top of the hat with a piece of sellotape. I didn't win, no. I did win something at a Pontin's competition once. Thank you very much. Pontin's Junior Talent Competition. Oh, yes. Now, where did I win that? I think Riviera. I think it was called Riviera. Now, where was Riviera? Let me have a look. Riviera, Pontin's Riviera. Now, whereabouts was that? Because that was a strange... It wasn't like the other Pontins. It was like a big white building. Weymouth. That was it, Weymouth. Now, is it still there? Yes, it is. Oh, look at this. It's on TripAdvisor. Just a moment now. Wow. Well, it's not Pontins anymore. I've just found this. So this would have been one of the holiday places I stayed at as a child. And I don't know about you. I quite like going back, don't you? Now and again, I don't do it very often, once every couple of years, I drive around the places that I used to live at. In Roehampton, where I was with my mum and dad for 1969 to 1983, before I got married. And then I went back there because the marriage didn't work, so I went back there. And also, my first place. This is where I live now. Is only my second place. My first place that I bought was in Wandsworth, and now and again I drive past it and I think, thank God I'm not there anymore. It's not very nice around there. And I like to go back. Last year I went back. Was it last year? I think I went back to Bracklesham Bay, where we spent many, many years going on holiday there. Not necessarily, long holidays, days out. We loved this place called Bracklesham Bay. And I went back there, I think it was either last year or the year before, and we did a little video there. Do you remember? And it's just the same. It never became commercialised. It's just this quiet little seaside place, and it's a lovely little place. It really is. Well, Pontin's Riviera, as I say, that would have been the 1970s I went there. It says here on TripAdvisor, we arrived, it's still like Pontin's. We arrived at the hotel and was impressed with the refurbishment. Reception was slow, and while checking in, pursued the menu. We were told we could not ask for food as the hotel was full and they were too busy. Rooms contemporary and comfortably furnished. Unfortunately, we were placed in the middle of a row of room with women's Welsh rugby team who were keen to run between the rooms with various drinks. Shower water was freezing cold. Look to contact reception. No phones in rooms. When was it? Oh, this was 2013. So that's a long time ago. Unfortunately, the hotel suffered a water leak in the morning. 2 days with no shower. Although I expect a hotel would like to lose the Pontin's reputation, it will need to work a lot harder. What are they giving it? Blimey. 267 people have given it a really bad review. 2013, was that that's the only... Is there anything newer than that? No, there's not. But Pontin's wasn't like that. It really wasn't like that before when we went there. It was a good quality, reasonably priced holidays, Paris is going to make breakfast. Enjoy your breakfast, Paris. John says you might have been to Glastonbury or Weston-super-Mare. No, certainly not. No, I couldn't go to Glastonbury. Oh, my word, no. All that munching around in mud and the state of the toilets. Oh, I couldn't use the toilets if I was at one of those awful music festivals. No, thank you. Dear me. Paul says it was like the Crocodile Club, Pontin's in the 1980s. No, Paul. No, we didn't have the Crocodile Club. That didn't exist when I was going to Pontin's. That's how long ago that was. I know the club you mean. Crocodile. La da 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 da. I do know that because my mum and dad once took my niece and nephew on holiday to Pontin's in Camber Sands. And I went down there for the day, and they had the crocodile thing there. Yeah, I know the thing you mean. Good morning to Johnny Key, who joins us this morning. Morning, Johnny. He provides some of our news stories on a regular basis. Thank you, Johnny. Morning to Mark, who says, how many have you touched? No one wanted to be touched this morning, Mark. I'm very disappointed to say. And hello to Peter Pan Neverland from Dover Docks. There's a place where you start off some of your holidays, isn't it, eh? Good. Now, we were just talking about the food there in Pontin's. The food in Pontin's was always really good. I don't know if you've noticed something else that is annoying me on the moment on the roads in London. Deliveroo. Have you seen the Deliveroo cyclists? If it's not bad enough. Now, I'm a cyclist. So don't say, yeah, but you're not a cyclist, so you wouldn't understand. I'm a cyclist. Not in London anymore, but I used to cycle in London. I wouldn't dream of going on a road in London now on a bicycle. I think it must be one of the most dangerous things you can do other than taking a capsule of cyanide. I really do. But these Deliveroo cyclists... Not only have they got the bike, which actually doesn't take up too much of the road, they've got this bloody great big box on the back of their bikes. Have you seen them? And they do touch your car on the way through. They're probably not going to scratch it. They're just plastic things. But nevertheless, that's not the point, is it? It really isn't. Anyway, where do you think they cook the food? There's an article in this morning's Daily Mail that says the Karaoke restaurant in London's fashionable Notting Hill is, as one would expect, a temple to good taste. All exposed brickwork, reclaimed wood. It boasts that the rotisserie chicken it specialises in comes from a farm in France where the birds roam free, snacking on vegetables and corn. When they finally meet their end, they are marinated for 24 hours in a secret recipe of herbs and spices devised by chef and founder Romain Bouillon, a man who learnt his trade in Michelin-starred restaurants. Alongside the poultry, customers can choose from truffle mac and cheese, potatoes roasted in chicken dripping and battery of freshly made salad. Sounds nice, doesn't it? And if some of the restaurant's devotees can't make it in person to its cheeky West London premises, well, there's always Deliveroo. Yes, indeed. The online food delivery service, whose distinctive light blue branded mopeds, motorbikes and bicycles are a common sight across every large city in the country. You may well have one of these Deliveroo companies near you, where you are. Certainly on the roads in London, there's a lot of them, and they're great big boxes on the back of their bikes. It's been hugely successful, utterly revolutionising Britain's takeaway market in just 4 years. So much that the company is thought to be worth as much as £1.1 billion. I can't get my head around that number, billion. Can you? How is it? It's mission simple. Your favourite restaurants delivered fast to your door. Where once the only choice might have been pizza or curry, Deliveroo has deliberately partnered with independent and chain restaurants that do not have a delivery service to offer customers a large range of cuisines. However, how would you feel to learn that the food did not, in fact, come from the restaurant itself, but from a metal box the size of a shipping container plonked on an industrial estate? Take karaoke. While Deliveroo customers living close by will receive their food from the restaurant kitchen proper, those further afield will instead be serviced by a satellite kitchen in a car park in the altogether more edgy South London borough of Camberwell, some 6 miles south of its actual premises. It's not coming from the restaurant. It's coming from a porter cabin. A porter cabin, I ask. Karaoke is by no means alone in choosing these metal containers, according to the Daily Mail, to act as alternative kitchens. Other restaurants churning out Deliveroo orders from this rather grim-looking car park include Busaba Ethi, a chain with 14 restaurants in London and St Albans that serves Thai food, a Mutu Indian kitchen set up by the family behind the Gymkhana restaurant in Mayfair, one of the world's highest-rated Indian restaurants. Pizza joint, Crust Bros and Gourmet Burger Kitchen also have taken premises there. While the meals emerging from the car park kitchens are flagged up online as coming from a Deliveroo Editions restaurant, how many of its customers actually know what that means? Well, I never knew this. Did you? I just assumed, if it says, I don't know, what's one of those places called? If it says Kakuma or whatever it was, Kakuma, it was coming from Kakuma restaurant. Not necessarily coming from a little porter cabin. No problem with that, really. I don't suppose for 1 minute it's any dirtier than the actual restaurant itself. The food probably tastes exactly the same. But isn't that a little bit of a, if... I don't know, if I was to say to you, well, I'm going to send you something, and I sign the bit of paper, and you get something in a box. Oh, I've got a box here to open this morning. I'm very excited. I'll do it live on air because I'm not quite sure what it is. You open the box and receive something, but actually it hasn't come from me. Someone else has signed it. Someone else has touched it and put that in the box. It's a bit like that over there, you see? That is signed by Barry Manilow. And to me, it's not about the signature. It's the fact that Barry Manilow has touched that bit of paper. You see what I mean? Is it the same with food, I wonder? Or doesn't it matter? If I said to you, I'm gonna send you a McDonald's burger, and the burger arrived at your house and looks and tasted exactly the same as a McDonald's burger, but I'd made it instead of McDonald's. I think that's a little bit. I think that's a little bit wrong to do that. You know, I do. It says restaurants. These Deliveroo edition bases, dubbed dark kitchens, will in some cases be like the one on Valmar Road in Camberwell, little more than metal huts in the car park of an industrial estate. So that's interesting, that is, isn't it? I don't know what you think about that. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Does that bother you where the food comes from? Or is it just food? It tastes exactly the same. If I made you a McDonald's burger, sent it to you, you ate it, you thought it was a McDonald's burger, is there anything wrong with that? Or are you one of those people where you said it was a McDonald's burger and it's not? It's not come from McDonald's. What do you think? You can call in if you want. There's a phone line open. 020 8144 3477 is my local London number this morning, okay? 020 8144 3477. Some of your messages coming in and not coming in very smoothly this morning, my messages for some reason, so I'll have to pop back and forward a little bit, okay? Good morning to Ray Reynolds, International. Good morning, Ray Reynolds, who says Pontin's Pakefield Lowestoft is that. I didn't go to that one, I don't think. Is where Tom Edwards started before he went on to Radio City, Radio Caroline and many ITV regions as a continuity announcer and BBC as well. Tom Edwards is a friend of Ray Reynolds. He used to be one of the announcers on Thames. He's actually on my friends list as well. He was one of the announcers on Thames Television. You know, the bloke that used to pop up between them. Very good morning to you from Thames. And we seem to be having a little bit of a problem with that programme at the moment. We'll come back to that in a minute. Opens a copy of the TV Times. Let's have a look at some of the programmes coming on later. That's what Tom Edwards used to do. He was also very big DJ as well. Peter Pan says, no more Uber tow yippee. No more Uber. We'll see what happens with that story, you know. 020 8144 3477 is my local London number. Do you know, I've still not found my headphones. Isn't it funny? I've got a lovely pair of Bose headphones and they are somewhere in the house. I've lost them, I think, 2 or 3 times now. And what happens is they turn up somewhere. I'm having a look around here now, actually. I don't know where they've gone. And to be fair, it's the second pair of headphones I lost. The first pair was a wired pair. Again, Bose. You know, so you're talking 100 quid. I lost a pair of these, but black. I had a black pair of these once. Okay? And I took them out. And I was listening to some music while I was walking up to my mate's house. This is about 2 years ago now. And got back home and they'd gone. And I think I had them in my pocket and they'd had fallen out somewhere in between my mate's house and here. The Bose ones, they haven't left the house. They're in here somewhere. This is the annoying thing. The last place I saw them was on the bedside cabinets next to... on the bedside cabinet next to the bed. And I said, I better pick those up and move them somewhere so I don't lose them again. And I did that and I can't find them again. I think I need to go to the doctors and have one of those congenitive tests. Is that the one you think? That, you know, you have to be tested when your brain functions is not as good as usual as they used to be. Oh dear. Good news if you want to fly quickly. Again, in the Daily Mail this morning, NASA have revealed that the latest tests on a radical supersonic plane that could revolutionise air travel. Oh yes, the space agency is using a model of its quiet supersonic technology preliminary design in a wind tunnel test. Space agency said it's ready to begin taking bids for construction of a demonstration plane in a project worth $390 million over 5 years. And it's faster than Concorde. It reckons it can cut in half the time it takes to get to New York. So what is that? That would be like 2 hours, wouldn't it? Is that 2 hours? They've dubbed it Son of Concorde. I don't know if it's going to be any faster than Concorde or just the same. It says the radical new craft could cut the 6-hour flight time from New York to Los Angeles in half and reduce the sonic boom so it can fly over populated areas. Well, we used to have that, actually. We used to have that here where I live in Bracknell here. Concorde used to fly over here twice a day, in the morning at 11 o'clock and at night time at 7 o'clock. And you could set your watch by what time that noise would come over your house. Oh, it was fantastic. Everything used to rattle in here. Even my teeth, which are still all my own. Look at that, innit? Can you say that? Have you still got all your own teeth? Would you like to fly at a supersonic speed? I quite like the idea of the Star Trek beaming. When you beam into someone's house. I like the idea of that. Where you're, how does that work? The transporter in Star Trek, what seems to happen is that you stand, still. This beam comes down, totally destroys your body, breaks it up into tiny atoms everywhere, and then puts them all back together again at the other end. What if it didn't do that in the correct order? You might have your leg on your foot, or your head on your leg. Instead of a nose, you might have something else sticking out of there. How embarrassing would that be? How would you ever go to the toilet? I quite like the idea of the supersonic plane. Would I get on it? Oh, I don't know about that. Might be going a little bit too fast for me, I must say, 0208 144 3477. Okay, Mary says, bring on teleportation. Absolutely, Mary. Just think I could teleport and be standing next to you in the space of just a few seconds. You could employ me to do a personal chat show for yourself. Why have a husband or a wife when you can just hire me for half an hour to come over and have a go at you? Mind you, you might not need to have one of those soon. Oh, no. Because there's a story here. Now, where's this one? Oh, it's in the Mail again. I've got all Daily Mail stories today. You won't need a husband or a wife soon, boys and girls. No more of that moaning in your ear. Moan, 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 moan. There won't be any more of that soon. Look at this. Story in this morning's Daily Mail. Although Alfie and I look like any normal couple enjoying the late September sunshine with our dog, this isn't a normal date. It is planned to the last detail. After taking in the air for precisely 17 minutes, we are going home to enjoy a light supper with wine before settling on the sofa to watch one of my favourite gory medical dramas. Alfie is not going to gripe about the plot lines or ask daft questions. He's not going to ask whether I really need a second glass of wine. If at some point I feel like inquiring as to whether my bottom looks big in my new red dress, I know what his response will be. Does Alfie sound like the perfect man? He could be. He's actually a robot, crafted from thin-hand sculptured silicone, stretched over a durable plastic skeleton, and can be programmed to do whatever I want him to, whether that is placing an internet shopping order or complimenting me on my haircut. He is the brainchild of robotics expert Adam Hushner, and I volunteered to give him a test run to see whether robots one day may replace our husbands or wives, of course, or wives, or specifically my perfectly good current version, Justin, to whom I've been married for 15 years. Now, is this an idea for you? Are you like me? I've always had trouble chatting people up. I just can't. I've never been able to do it. Chatting people up, can't do it. Don't have to do it anymore. Amazon one-click ordering. It's just around the corner. oh, that one looks quite nice. You just order it. Push a button. A day later, if you've got Prime, a robot will arrive and do exactly as you want it to. Interest in humanoid robots is set at an all-time high. On October the 6th, the long-awaited movie sequel Blade Runner 2049 is released, with a pilot plotline heaving with robots known as replicants, and will whet the appetite of science fiction lovers everywhere. I should certainly be going to have a look at that one. I might go and see the film It next week. Is that a horror film? Anyone seen that yet? It. We've got a 4DX cinema now in Bracknell with special effects, which I want to go and have a look at. In real life, there's a frantic race to create the most believably looking and sounding robots. Cloning life forms is so last century. Now we want to recreate humanity in robotic form. So would you have one of those? Would you have one of those? I think I would. I think I would. It'd be nice to come home from work and this robot has got my dinner ready as I walk in the door. I wouldn't have to ring. Wouldn't have to ring up and say, "Oh, can you get my dinner ready?" Because it would be, it would know. I'd have some sort of, it would know perhaps from my mobile phone that I was almost home, and then make the dinner. And as I walk from, hello, Chris, your dinner is ready, and then just put it down, and bring it into the room and sit next to me and watch the telly. I think I would. What about you? Do you think you could have a robot as a friend? Why not? I mean, you've got to, I think in your mind, you've got to kind of switch off the fact that it's not real. But I mean, I'm able to do that in situations. It's like when I'm on a plane. I switch off the fact that I'm 3 miles up in the air and there's nothing underneath me. I turn that off in my head. I do. I'm quite good at being able to do that, turning things off. Now, not everyone can do it. I have tinnitus as well through years of DJing, and I managed to ignore that. I can turn that off. Not everyone can do that. My mate can't do that. He's got tinnitus, and it's really bad sometimes. Some sadness with people who the tinnitus gets so bad and they can't turn it off themselves, and they go and kill themselves. It's a terrible thing, tinnitus. The story goes on. It sounds creepy, but you can see why they could be handy, lifting the infirm out of the bath, calling for emergency assistance, and offering reminders to take medication, as well as directing guests to the right room when arriving at a hotel. Travel to Japan or China, and chances are a vaguely human-looking robot will be directing you to your room, says Adam, who provided the first UK robot receptionist back in February and can now barely keep up with demand. I wonder if you can... I wonder if we've got any here then. Robot receptionist UK. I wonder if we have any here. Yes, here we are. Started on the 4th of July at Brain Labs. Oh, so it's an office. That's not in a hotel. But nevertheless, Shoreditch offices of media agency Brain Labs, it's called Pepper, will greet guests on entry with personalised gestures and basic tasks, which is interesting, with robots and that. Good morning, line 1. Can I help? Good morning, friend. I'm very confused as well. Just, you were coming for chips, but if you're doing something, that's okay. Okay. Do you want me to finish soon? Are you in trouble? Okay, I'll ring you soon. Okay. Ta-ra. Bye. Bye. So I think, sorry, that was my mate there. I'll have to disappear because he needs a little bit of help with something. Yes, I think I would have a robot. I think I would. How wonderful that you don't have to pander after everyone all the time, would you? Oh, dear me. On the subject of Concord, Paul says, I used to see Concord from Battersea Bridge. The sculptor studio of RCA that I went to was on Howie Street, and there was a bus garage opposite. That's gone too. It's luxury flats with it being on the river. Oh, well, you've only got to look around, Paul. Have you seen Vauxhall? God! Have you ever? It's just like another town within a city, isn't it? Vauxhall. So many flats, but they're like rabbit hutches. I don't know. I mean, they're probably perfectly all right inside. But I don't think I could live in a flat again. I've got the most wonderful house. I know I have little jokes. I tell you, I live in this massive mansion. I've just got an ex-council house. But it's in the most beautiful position where I am. It really is. I'm surrounded by cars and trees. All right, there's some dodgy people around, but, where isn't there? I'm kind of closed myself. I close my door on the world, and I just love it here. But, yeah, I know what you mean, Paul. Ray Reynolds says, Metal Mickey. Would you have one, Ray? Mary says, I think some of my friends are robots. Yes, you must do as I tell you to do. Robots. Oh, gosh. Ray says, I used to see Concord every night at 7 when I was DJ at the Morpeth Arms Millbank during the late 70s and 80s. Wasn't it a wonderful thing to see that plane flying over the top of you? Mary says, a woman needs a man like a fish needs a bicycle. Have you seen one? Have you seen a fish on a bicycle, Mary? I think you should try it. Get yourself a goldfish and stick it on a bicycle seat. See what happens, love. All right. Let's do today's birthdays, gang, and then we're going to disappear this morning. All right. First of all, Adam has sent in a message. Good morning to Adam the plumber, who says, hi, Chris. Could you do me a birthday today, please, for Margaret Hyde? Happy birthday, Margaret, a good friend of mine, and say hello to Roger on the show. So happy birthday to Margaret Hyde this morning. Happy birthday, darling. I don't know where you are. I'm guessing somewhere around Sidcup, because that's where Adam lives. I could be completely wrong with that. Morning, Margaret. And Roger as well. Good morning, Dot and Roger. Dot, and that's a lovely name, Dot. Dot and Roger. Okay, you two. Good morning to you two. More birthdays this morning. Adora Dix. Excellent cabaret artists who I've worked with many times, and I hope many times more. Good morning, Adora, and a big happy birthday to you today. You're a true professional. Wonderful costumes she's got. Wonderful outfits. Good morning to Harish Raju. Happy birthday to you, Harish. All right. Yannick Shepners is 31 years old today. Happy birthday to Yannick. Julie Richardson, this morning, 52 years old. Good morning, Julie. Darren James. Good morning, Darren. Happy birthday to you. William Murray tonight, 69 years old. William Murray. Are you the William that I used to go up the Rackets Club, the Berkshire Rackets Club, when I was using the swimming pool up there some years ago now, William? I think it's you. Happy birthday to you, sir. Long time since I've seen you now. Simon Stevens today, 39 years old. Ah, singer Simon, hello. I didn't know you were 39, Simon. It is you, isn't it? That picture's a little bit small. 1 minute. Yes, it is, isn't it? Simon. Good morning, Simon. About time we had your talent on the stage again, isn't it? Happy birthday, Simon. Prince Jordan. I love that. Prince Jordan, very good looking. 25 years old today. Happy birthday to you, Prince. And Alex Herbert. Alex. Yeah, there you are. Alex Herbert. It's his birthday as well today. So happy birthday, boys and girls. Here comes the song for you. Oh, I've lost my mouse. Where's my pointer? There it is. Here comes the song. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. If it's your birthday, send it through, unless you're on my Facebook, in which case I'll get them through automatically. All right, boys and girls. I think that's all the messages today. Let me just check if I've missed anyone out. I hate missing people out. You know that. Hang on a minute. Push that there. Push that there. Is that all of you? I think it is. Yep, we're done. That's it today, boys and girls. Thank you very much for joining us on the show this morning. I'm doing a little bit of DJing tonight, and hosting cabaret at Central Station Saturday night. Cabaret at Central Station 10:30. We've got Earl Grey tonight. Just heads up for tomorrow. Tomorrow it's Sunday night and it's our big karaoke night in Camden Town tomorrow. Every Sunday 8 till 10:45. It's karaoke. That's karaoke at the Camden Eye in Camden Town, literally just across the road from the tube station. Tomorrow night and every Sunday at the Camden Eye, 8 till 10:45. I'll see you again very soon. Thanks so much for joining and watching the show. Cheerio now.